Just and then I go over to introduce Reverend Professor Anefio Akpabio. Reverend Akpabio is an electrical engineer by profession and member of Association of Supervisory and Executive Engineers of London, AMSEB. Professor Akpabio is also the Professor of Theology and Biblical Studies, the Fellow of Association of Christian Theologians, FACTS, FACTS, Fellow of College of Chaplaincy and Psychology, Nigeria, FCCP, Chairman of National Executive Council Association of Christian Theologians. He's also the Provost of World Harvest Bible College and Seminary, Calabar, in Nigeria. Professor Akpabio is the General Overseer of Kingdom Builders Ministry. He's also the President and Visionary of Ministerial Consultancy Network. Professor Akpabio is also a licensed marriage counselor and teacher on marital issues. He is the head of administration of World Organization of Ambassadors, African Missionaries. He is also an international and continental speaker in conferences and seminars. Reverend Akpabio is also the member of Bible Research Institute, MBRI, theological scholar and book writer, and author of many books. He is a child of God and minister of the gospel who is called to teach, to preach, to share his wealth of wisdom and take people to their God's destiny. As a privileged and accepted speaker of Y.Y.C.I International, he is also the patron and advisory board member of Y.Y.C.I International, United Kingdom. So I want to say thank you, sir, for joining us today to share your wealth of wisdom, your amazing, abundant knowledge and experiences of almost more than 40 to 50 years. And we are all ready to learn, to eat, and to drink from your wealth of wisdom. So you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, my queen. Thank you for everyone that have been part of this program. I get delighted that we share together. Just as the queen has said, our hands are full up. But that notwithstanding, we must actually release what we should release. So welcome to this all-important subject that we are going to handle today, the mindset of transforming marriage. Like our queen has said, actually, marriage is my heartbeat because I'm so committed in a way that when you look at how people misunderstand marriage, sometimes even preach wrong preachings on marriages, and because the marriage is not okay, they decide to say that there is no better marriage at all. It bothers us. So as you come, please be ready and open up so that we can take what is expected to be taken. I will actually go into details, and I want you to ask questions within the limited time that I will have. I know we have time to ask the question, and God will give us an answer. Thank you and welcome. When we consider the issue of marriage, because of its importance and what it has caused many homes to be in happiness, caused many homes to be in sorrows, cause many families to be in trouble, carry the head of the family of the man or the man to the woman, and creating those problems. The area we can actually look at, which we will sample all things and follow, will be, and when you talk about marriage, some things comes into mind. Knowing God's purpose for marriage is number one thing. Until we know God's purpose for marriage and can give a definite definition of what marriage is all about, we'll still play about and feel we are marrying and yet we are mating. And after that is how to understand marriage and marital relationship. There are a lot of people that have come into marriage and they don't even have they don't even understand. The only thing they know about relationship is sex, and that is all. And if that is all, then we are not better than animals, because animals don't have a particular husband, a particular wife, but they mate, they go together and they have the children. Beyond that is the issue of how we married each other. Sometimes the whole thing starts from the foundation. How you marry the person you marry. What was the considering points in the when you marry? And what are those things you value most when you marry? And so how we marry the person we marry counts. Because there are sometimes we marry from friendships. You hear some people say, he was my friend before, she was my friend before, now we come into marriage. And we can see that that foundation can make or break what marriage is all about. One of the things that we are going to look at is the issue of the norms in marriage. You're considering the norms and our mental relationship. What are the norms? What do we take as important in marriage? And what don't we take as important? Because somebody may take this as important, the other one may not actually look at it the way it is. We will look at also what we feel our partner should do or know, which we have not told them. There's that perspective. A woman will say, well, I think my husband should have known this. A man will say, I think my wife should have known it. And he has not opened up to say. Marriage involves understanding these things. And as we know them, it comes to a good thing for us. The other aspect that we are going to browse over is going to be the issue of sex and money. Because women think that men are more conscious of the sex. And men accuse women that they are only concerned about money. So money now and sex now become a challenge and a problem. And every other thing, especially in the biblical context. So let me go into our study today so we can cover all these things, even the home and the children, how we bring them up, even the spiritual standard of the home, how we make it to be, and the most of all, how to enjoy a blissful marriage, how to really enjoy, how to have, how to be involved in such a marriage. I start with number one. What is marriage? Most of the time, I have a summarized meaning of marriage, but in my book, I decided to classify marriage in 12 different classes, and I give them definition based on that. But the general perspective of what I talk about, what is marriage, is that marriage is a personal union where a man and a woman consent to live together in a lifelong relationship of mutual love and acceptance, to be regulated by the word of God and to be nourished by sexual relationship. That's my general summary of marriage, but I'm going to go into the classification. I say again, marriage is an intimate personal union, not just union, an intimate personal union where a man and a woman consent to live together in a lifelong relationship, not to terminate on the way, lifelong relationship of mutual love and acceptance. Regulated by the word of God and to be nourished by sexual relations. Area is an intimate personal union. A people coming together to enjoy intimacy And that intimacy is where they have decided to remain in that position and continue. An intimate personal union where the man and the woman, they consent to live together. You know, this aspect of consent is important because many people have entered into marriage and they say, they forced me to enter. We have about 4 consents. Number 1, divine consent. Has God actually approved, like somebody else says today, have God actually approved you to marry that person? There must be the divine consent that God convicts you, that is who you should marry. Number 2, there must be your personal consent, where you agree to marry that man or you agree to marry that woman. There must also be the other aspect of the concept of the family, because the family also has a word to say. Or whatever we do, at the end of it, everything falls under and into family. And so there must be that family consent. There must be that divine consent. There must be a personal consent. And we bring this together and we decide to live together throughout life until they do us part according to what we say. When we understand that, we can say that somebody is actually ready to marry. But like as I say in my book, Making Marriage Meaningful, I classify marriage in 12 ways. Number 1, I see marriage as an institution where we learn. We learn from one another. What you did not know about that woman, the woman will let you know. What you do not know about that man, the man will let you know. So I see marriage as an institution where we learn day by day. That's why the issue of I don't want to tell him is not there. Make it an institution. Be ready to learn from your partner. It is this aspect that people fail. When we say, I know I have my position, I have my stand, I don't want to hear. No, we must learn. Because I will let us know here, there are 17 things that make you different from somebody else. And nobody can be directly like you. I tell people 1 + 1 = 2, not 1. That even in marriage, the Bible said, and they shall become one flesh. It didn't say one person, one flesh. The one person there is a situation. Sometimes we see a man want to force the wife to become him, and you want a woman to force the wife. We will see that that is not what's supposed to be. So number 1, you look at marriage with all the definition as it is an institution. Learn from your wife. Learn from the experience and man. Number 2, I say that marriage in classification is a calling. We are called to live together. That's what Brother Paul said. If you have been called to marry, don't stay away. Marriage is a calling. What does a calling mean? It's separating you for something and giving you a direction on what to do. So if that is marriage, you know marriage is not just, I see a woman, I marry, that's my wife, that's my husband. It's a calling. If, as we are called to ministers, like our queen now is called actually to inject and then influence and then help the life of the youth. Then if you enter into marriage, have you heard into calling? What are you there in the marriage for? When that is not understood, then we make a meandering about marriage. I say also, apart from calling, that marriage is a union, a coming together. One day I was saying when I was doing a marriage wedding solemnization, I told the people that if it were to be that human body is iron, we could have used welder to come and weld them, not welding. We weld them together because there are a lot of breaking marriages today. Because people don't understand that marriage is a union. A union is a coming together, not with a diverse interest, but one particular interest focused on a goal. That's all what marriage is. Legal union, not only that, a religious union, not only that, a spiritual union. Marriage is a union. That's why in the law, they tell us registry. You go to the court or register your marriage. It's a union that must be has some terms of preserving. Apart from being a union, I look at marriage in my classification as a link. Do you know, my dear men that are listening to me? If anybody is to kill you, your wife can kill you more than any other person. It's a link. If anybody is to preserve your life, your wife and your husband can do it very well. Because as far as 2 of you are close together, you link with one another. You can affect one another easily. So know that marriage is a link. not a burden, not a bondage, but a link that can link you go better. Maybe your family is not okay, but the family of your wife is okay. That link can expand. That link can make things go very well. But when somebody says, I am satisfied on my own, no, remember, marriage is a link. Let's link together. Let's see what we can do to maintain that link and see that things work well. And I say also in my classification that marriage is activity. Marriage is activity. And what do I mean by that? I say it is a sacred human society where husband and wife both share together and plan together to work out their way. You know, one thing about marriage is it helps ourselves to work things out for ourselves. When we know we cannot make it well, we sit down. It's an activity. So don't take marriage more spiritual. Don't take marriage more physical. Take marriage also as an activity. What have you done as an activity to keep the marriage going? A woman will say, I'm not used to all this thing. The problem is too much. It's an activity. Let's work for it. And let's bring it out. Apart from that, I see that marriage in classification is a decision. You must actually decide to marry. Why do we have breakage of marriage today? Because they don't see marriage as a decision. They just see marriage as a voluntary activity. I come in and I can work out at any time. And the next thing is to quote the book of 1 Corinthians 7. If the unbelieving depart, let him depart. It's not correct. Marriage is a decision. And if you make that decision to stay, you will stay. If you make that decision to tolerate your husband or your wife, you will do it. It's a decision. That's my classification. I move from decision and say that marriage is a discovery. You know, day by day, as you relate to one another, you begin to discover some ingredients, some lifestyle, some things that you never know such a person. Somebody sing a song and say, I never know that Jesus is very good. I would have given my life to him. I never know. You may not know what your wife carry. You may not know what your husband carry. But when you see marriage as Bible said, the more we work together, the more we move together, you can discover that that woman was feeling so strong, very strong, very strong. It's no more like that. And there are some things. One day I was teaching in marriage. I said, if you marry a man that is opposite to you, I mentioned 12 things. People begin to say, God forbid, God forbid. But these things are real. There must be a recovery. And I also classify marriage as partnership. Marriage is partnership. A coming together, a living together, a cordial relationship that we make sure that we flow in that law. A partner, don't forget about partners. A partner will all want to see what he can do. And from there, I classify also that it's not only partnership, but marriage is friendship. You know, when two boys and girls come together, man and woman, they come together, and the friendship perspective of marriage comes in, it sweetens the marriage. Many people are married, but they are not friends. And so there's nothing that keeps them happy, nothing that keeps them well. The partnership is influenced and inflated by the concept of friendship. Because as a friend is my personal person. When you become my friend and my personal person, I can even want to die because of you so that you can get what you want. So marriage is friendship. Classify marriage in that direction. And you will see that it will actually help us to be what we should be. And I say as number 10 that marriage is relationship. You know, all these things comes together. Marriage is a relating, a relation, a coming together. Not just a situation where I marry that man, I marry that woman. And number 11, I say in my classification, marriage is a commitment to stay, a commitment to work for success, a commitment to have a real thing. If you are committed in a thing, you will not easily just find any day I can back out. One day, a family came to me and told me, the husband came and told me, I was so surprised that my wife decided to call the children and told the children, if I go out today from your father's house, this bed, na me buy am, this table, na me buy am. The other one is your father who buy you. If I go, know that this is my property and that is your father's property. What has he done? He has not seen marriage as a commitment. When you are committed, there will be no separation knowing I bought this one, I didn't buy the other one. So marriage is a commitment. And the last aspect that I classify marriage, I look at marriage as a covenant relationship. Marriage is a covenant. And let us know that. A covenant is agreement between two persons that demands each person to play his part to make it well. Marriage is a covenant. And so if we covenant to stay, we covenant to marry, we covenant to do what we ought to do, we'll see that marriage will work very well. After knowing the meaning of marriage, the next thing that I will look at and we look at is undeniable fact about human uniqueness. Because when we don't understand ourselves, then we make a problem. What are the undeniable facts about human uniqueness? That is what I have in my book, The Battle of Marital Supremacy. Who takes charge? Who rules? Who is a king? Who is a queen? Who is what in the marriage? That book is important, actually. So I state this as undeniable truth that number one, everyone in marriage relationship is a unique entity who maintains his or her individual autonomy right to do what he or she feels best and to refuse what he or she does not consider as acceptable. That's where sometimes you see problem comes into marriage. The woman may say, I don't like that one. The man will say, I like that one, I don't like the other one. Because you are coming as two different entities. When we understand that, we see that what actually is important in marriage is not magic bed adjustment. What matters much in marriage is adjustment, not whatever. I can't do this. I don't like to do it. I'm a unique person. I'm an entity. And my wife is telling me I should do this. Therefore, what I need to do to keep us going.
Please bear with us. I believe it's just a connection, and we will continue. We'll continue shortly. I hope you've been challenged and encouraged so far on marriage, as Pastor Awodiran started with us, and now is Reverend Professor Anefo Akpabio, which is going to join us back because I think it's the connection. But so far, so good. I believe that we have a lot work to be doing in our marriages for those that are married and even for those that are still preparing to marry. At least it's an eye-opener for you, and you'll be able to learn great lessons and prepare yourself for your own marriage. Marriage is an institution, so it's a place of learning. You learn from your mistakes, you learn from others and from your spouse. You also learn from others. And that is where we are building it. That is why we call this topic the transforming. So you don't build a house overnight. A Rome is not built in a day. It takes patience and prayers and time for us to build the home, to build our marriage, and also to build, to maintain it. And that is why we will keep on sharing and training and teaching on this particular topic. Marriage is powerful. Marriage is worthy if we handle it well. If we can build it and we can maintain it and keep it, it's worth the scenario, it's worth the activities. So I believe that Reverend is going to join us soon to continue with his teaching. But if you have any questions so far that you still want to ask Pastor Awodiran Olushola, please write your comment, write your questions, and we will flow with that while we are waiting for Reverend Akpabio because Pastor Awodiran is also full of knowledge. He's an assistant pastor, and at the same time a one-age counselor, and at the same time a great leader, and at the same time a great teacher. So feel free to ask him questions while we wait for Reverend Professor Awodiran. Okay, I've noticed that we recognize all our great leaders that just joined us. Professor Dr. Mercy Obeng, thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. We really appreciate your presence. We also want to appreciate um, Ambassador Honorable Titus. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I would like to know more about you. Please connect with us through um, others. So connect with us. We have so many ambassadors in nearly majority of the great countries. And we have our coordinators, our presidents. So if you cannot get me direct, please contact them or email YYCI .academic@gmail.com. I haven't seen any messages so far on that email. We open it deliberately for this masterclass. So I'm expecting people to join us and also to email for any questions or any concern, or you want to know more about YYCI. I also want to welcome Ambassador Dr. Lonsington. Thank you, sir, the president and the founder of Prestige Crozier consulting firm. Thank you, sir, for joining us today. I want to appreciate you all. Any questions so far while we are waiting for Reverend Professor? So any questions so far? Please ask your questions. We have Pastor Awodiran. He started the great teaching this morning. If you have missed any, and you can ask him any question. Yes. So please do ask questions. Or maybe while we are waiting for Professor, will you be able to expatiate one of your challenge or one of the challenges in marriage? Let's pick up the finance. So will you be able to expatiate that while we are waiting for Professor Akpabio?
God bless you, ma.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, finance is actually a challenge in marriage because of the things that need to be done. There are bills to be paid, the feeding, the clothing, and the fees that needs to be attended to. Majorly, finance becomes a problem when the husband is either out of job or is not earning enough. And this is also complemented by when the wife is not actually doing something. Because some wives have been relegated to the post of housewife. They are not actually doing anything. They are only waiting to get from what the husband is giving. And also sometimes the wife might be working but not willing to support the husband, believing that the husband is the head of the family and that every responsibility must fall on him, which is a very wrong conception. That can also bring out a financial challenge in the family. And also when the family, the husband or the wife, or let me say the husband now, or maybe the husband has been led to go and live above the standard of living. Maybe they're supposed to be living in a small apartment, they now went to get a big apartment. Maybe they're supposed to manage a particular school, but because of other friends and the rest of them, they also put their children in schools whereby they pay big amount of school fees. This can also cause financial challenge in marriage. The solution to this is number one, the husband should step up. If the husband is not doing any job, he should look for one. That's one. And two, he should look for other means of income to support what he is already having. And number three is that the wife should be counseled that the responsibility of the house is not just the husband. They are to work it out together. I know a woman, all her salary she used to buy clothes, bags, and shoes. Even if she mistakenly spent 100 naira on the children, the moment the husband comes, she will collect the money from the husband. She will collect the money from the husband. So when the weight is too much, this can bring financial problem on the man. So the wives too must be counseled to support the husband, and they must live within their income. They must live within their income. They must not do more than they could. They must not buy more than what they should. So they must live within their income. And the third one is that they must invest and have a future plan. They must invest and have a future plan. It's okay, let's invest this money. Okay, let's plan in the next so years. This is what we should have. So this will also help to break financial challenges in the family. Thank you.
Thank you so much for contributing that. I have a question quickly on that finance, because I know it is very, very crucial in relationship, especially with husband and wife. There's something that is going on that people do ask that questions, which is very important. Should husband and have joint account?
Good. Joint account. Yes. Now, husband and wife can have a joint account. I'll use experience to answer that question. I know one, the husband and the wife, they have a joint account. The husband has a separate account, and the wife also have a separate account. The agreement is this: from my salary, I will be bringing 40% of my into a joint account. And the wife, but if the husband will reverse, not live in a way of depending or solely depending on the wife's income. So it is a responsibility the husband must step up to. So it is good to have a joint account. It helps to clear off financial embarrassment. What do I mean by financial embarrassment? Maybe house rent, maybe traveling expenses. Maybe they want to travel abroad. Instead of borrowing, they can go to the joint account. They can also use the money in the joint account to start a business together. They can also use the money to start building a house. They can use it to get a family car. So this will help. So that's the answer to that. It's very good to have a joint account. Very, very good. I'm into it also. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your answer. Apart from the joint accounts, okay, what can you bring a light in this one, where there's always an argument in the areas of, let's say, okay, with this joint account now, there's an argument between the husband and wife, like there would be an argument because it's a joint account where they need to share it and other things like that. And then probably the wife want to buy shoes and whatever they want to buy. And we want to buy shoes, makeup and dress, and then the husband want to focus on the car. I think that is very important. Can you give us a good advice? How do we balance, or how do we solve that argument problem?
Okay, ma. God bless you, ma. I said before, I said having a joint account is good. But at the same time, the husband must have a personal account and the wife must also have a personal account whereby I want to give my friend something, I want to give my family something, doesn't come close to the joint account. The purpose of the joint account must be specified, defined from the beginning. It is not something they draw from to take care of personal, take care of things that their salary cannot accommodate. Okay, let's have this joint account to start a business. Let's have this joint account to buy a house. Let's start this joint account to send to travel, to send our children abroad, or to send them abroad, or I mean to give them quality education. The purpose must be specified. So when it comes, this will help guide against arguments. Once they have a personal account, the husband can, whoever the husband wants to give, the husband can give. Whoever the wife wants to give, she can give. Whatever they want to do with their salaries, they can do. Of the joint account for this person. And if it's not going to be used for the specific purpose, then it must.
Bear with us today. It's another day.
The two of them, because the two parties like.
Hello, sir. Have you finished?
Yes, I'm true, man. Thank you, man.
Okay, all right. I think the hands are now raising up now. So let's call on Ambassador Dr. Lonson for your question, please.
All right, thank you so much, Your Excellency. Even though I know too well that I joined late, but I think I have achieved something in this question that you just asked. I want to join my voice to support. Mine is not actually in area of question, although at the end I will bring a little question. Firstly, I want to join my voice to support the speaker that having a joint account is very, very important in marriage. I am one of the, I don't want to use the word example, but I have an example of it, experience of it. In my account, my personal account that I call my personal account, my wife knows how much that comes in and goes out. This is how she knows. I tried to see how I can include her phone number, but the bank didn't accept the exception of having a next of kin. That was where her phone number comes in. But I included her email, whereby when money comes in, she knows what has come in. When money goes out, she knows also. Then in the area of joint account, I also do. Now, this is one of the good things that this joint account is doing. The joint account help to modify, to stabilize, to balance the family. The wife will not have reason to shout, my husband is spending anyhow. Whatever that comes in, she knows. And how you are spending it, you have to also make yourself sincere. This is not a time of those days that our fathers were busy living a life without bringing it to the knowledge of their wife. This, our 21st century, required us to be opened in our marriage, in our family. But where I am having a little challenge, what if it is not marriage? And you are having a relationship, a courtship with someone. Because a few days ago, a friend of mine went to surprise his girlfriend without informing the girlfriend that this is what I want to do. He went and bought a car to give to the girlfriend. And when the girlfriend saw the car, she was annoyed. In fact, she packed her load and left the house. She warned the guy never to call her again. Why? Because the guy spent too much. She advised the guy not to spend, that the guy should have a future. That tomorrow now, nobody knows how the nation will be, how the world will be. So, sir, in a case like this, maybe your friend or your close confidant is not your wife. How can you handle this kind of situation, this finance in relationship and also in family? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the question. Thank you very much for the question. In a relationship that is not marriage, personally, I don't agree with disclosing what comes into your account or what goes out. I don't agree with that. Because in the case where what comes in is big, so that it won't be a kind of attraction or the basis at which the marriage is formed. Because if the marriage is formed on financial empowerment, then if there is no money again, there will be problem in that marriage. There will be serious problem in that marriage. But like in the case of the guy that decided to buy a car for the girlfriend, well, due to the love he has for the girlfriend, I think that's why he bought the car. But the thing is that the girl herself may not have the understanding of the reason behind him buying a car. Now, which may also bring problem in the sense that a problem of trust. If he can buy a car for her, despite the fact that they are not married, definitely, maybe that's the same way he's buying for other people. And another thing is that a woman loves a real woman now, wants a man that is future realistic. A man that the future is secure, that wants to secure his future, not a man that wants to waste money on things that does not matter. Because I don't see the reason why anyone should buy a man, an intended couple should buy a car for one another. I don't see any reason why. But once you are married, then you can buy whatever you want to buy. It is for the comfort of the marriage. It is for the comfort of the home. But when this comes in, even before that, definitely if there is a crisis in the future, the woman will opt out. The woman will opt out because that is what you have used to train the woman. And when it's no more there might be a problem. Life is in two sides, good and the bad. There's time you will have and there's a time you will not have. So you don't have to spend so much in relationship unless you are already married. That's my own answer to that question, sir. God bless you, sir.
Let me add to that what you've just said. Thank you so much, Pastor Awodiran. Thank you so much for answering that question. And I really learned from what you've just said. Let me add to that. I mean, buying a car before the marriage. No matter how you think you love this guy, that's not the way. The reason why I said that is that sometimes what we do before marriage is so funny. And then when the marriage now, I mean, when you now enter into the marital itself, then that nudging is not there anymore. Because we are sometimes, I don't know the perspective of that person. So I wouldn't judge anybody. He might have his own reason. Probably he bought the car, maybe the wife to be is struggling to go to work, or maybe it's a kind of security, but not expensive car to start with. Not expensive car. Because if, like Pastor Awodiran said, we women, I mean, the like-minded women, let's put it that way. If we want to think, we think of so many things before we enter marriage. Number one, our own security. So for you to say you want to secure us, you have to have a job. And even if you don't have a job, it's just a condition that makes you not have a job at that time. And it's not going to be permanent. If I make myself an example, when we got married, I mean, I have the status. My husband, they have the status. And at the same time, he has to do these odd jobs. And with the odd job, it is not secured. Just the fact that we went home to do our wedding, to come back to UK, they didn't accept him back. And that makes him to be jobless for so many years. You understand? But at that particular time, I wouldn't blame him for not getting a job, because as a foreigner and even as a man, getting a job in United Kingdom in those days is not easy. You understand? Favor tends to be falling on women and not men. So it's a struggle. But if you now understand one another, why not? Things can be better because a condition is not permanent. So in this kind of case, women are expecting security from the man that can not only just present pause, but the future, the plans for the future. So that's number one. Women also are looking for safeguard, or a pause that is preparing. Might not be ready, but preparing, so that we can give the best to the children. So if at the beginning of the relationship, you are buying an expensive car, no matter how how well you are with your business, or you have the money, you are rich, you have, still future, we need to plan ahead for the future. So women are looking for, yes, I want to be secured with the man I'm going to marry. Yes, I want our children also to be taken care of. Yes, we want to prepare for the raining day, because what you have today, you might not have it tomorrow. Yes, the woman will like to see a kind of how you saving, because it's not easy for men to save, but women can, support them to save. So in that kind of scenario, we say, well, like you said, it's out of love. But then love is not material things. That is just probably, I would say, maybe the condition of that woman at that time. And that is if they have agreed to marry together. Because what if you buy the car and the woman decide to marry another person? What will you do? And that is where the breaking heart comes. For example, I have somebody that has sent his wife to secondary school, up to university, even to go for the youth service, and then expecting that after the youth service, they will now get married. Because he's been working hard, sending money to the woman to go to school, 4 years university, and then another 1 year of youth corps, and then coming back home to say he's going to get married, unfortunately, to the man. Somebody else has toasted a woman during the youth corps, and then the woman fall in love with another person, and that break the heart of the person. So that is why we have to be careful before you get married. Yes, you can trust one another, but you need to be careful what you do. Material things and other things like that. You understand? It might not be, but just make sure you're careful because anything can go wrong at any time. You understand? So buying is an expensive car to the woman you love might not be the better way because anything can come up before the marriage itself and can even break your own heart. So maybe instead of that, you can just look for a reasonable thing to do to celebrate her or other things, you understand, to support her while she is getting ready to get married to you. So finance sometimes, let me also say this, finance sometimes, the reason why we run out of cash sometimes is because of the mismanagement. It's because of the mismanagement. I remember, and I thank God for my mom. I remember when she said something when we were very young, that, do you know? And then when you want to even add it to the scripture, you will see that what my mom was saying at that time was right. She just illustrated a simple thing and said, do you know that the person that have 10 naira can live a peaceful life and be happy? And the person that have 1 million can be stressed. And also, the person that has the 10 naira, God can give the person wisdom how to use that 10 naira and also save from it. But the person that has million might not have time to even listen to any wisdom and just lavish the money. So she now concluded, that's my mom now concluded, that no matter what is in your hands, you are still rich. It depends on how you manage. How you manage what you have that matters. You can be rich with your 10 naira, and the person that has million can be bankrupt overnight. So I will leave it that way. There's a lot to talk about this finance. Any questions? So thank you so much, sir, for answering that question. So we just have to be mindful of what we do before the marriage. I heard some people, they even said it yesterday or so, that some people will buy so many things to entice the person. And when they now finally marry, problem comes. And that is where they start fighting each other, arguing. That is where the wife will say, she used to do this. My fiancé then used to do all these things for me, take me out, pamper me, take us to the most expensive. And then now he's not doing it anymore. So that is why we need to be training our youth to know that materials shouldn't exchange love. Materials shouldn't exchange friendship or health, or friendship or relationship. Because materials is materials, it can fade away. But your feelings and how you communicate with one another, how we understand one another, might be much, much better than buying. I hope I'm not going to say much on that anymore. Okay. All right. Ambassador Joseph, you want to ask question?
Yes, Queen Mother. My actually is not question, but to ask you what our speaker
You need
Pastor
to ask questions. You need to ask questions. You don't know it all. Ask questions. Yes, you can contribute. Look at Ambassador Dr. Lonson. He asked questions. He contributed and he also asked questions. That is the attitude towards this mindset. So say what you want to say and ask question. Don't just conclude, contribute. We want to hear both. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you. Contribute and ask questions. We are ready.
You know, I'm a single young man. This particular topic is very interesting when I'm listening to Pastor Awodiran. He says you should always manage what you have. You know, the problem we are having these days is because we try to impress people. We try to do maybe, you know, carry responsibility that we have not met up with because of some of us, we are not sincere when it comes to telling ourselves the truth. We are not sincere. As a young man, want to get married, like myself, I use myself for example. A single it comes your way, and you're trying to impress her with what you have. Like maybe a lady visited me, maybe we're supposed to go out together. She's expecting maybe I'm going to book a ride that will come and pick us from the house. Meanwhile, I am not capacitated. Even the little money I have, I'm supposed to use for something else. I should not just use it because I want to impress her. We should pick a bike, pick us to the junction, board a car to anywhere we are going to go to. That will not stop us from getting to where we are going to. But if you want to impress, because the hand is invited, it is what you're going to see at the end of the day. So when you are raised, you are raised. But when you want to fake it, and at the end of the day, by faking it, it's going to affect you. So you don't fake it. You have to be real when it comes to relationship. And situation where I am trying to express you what I am not. I don't do that. So I really and Pastor Awodiran is really saying my mind. That's why I am impressed.
Okay, then what's your question? If you are listening to what Pastor Awodiran is talking, I'm training you, you know, I'm training you here. If you are listening carefully, there shouldn't be a question because you know something. You know we don't know it all. You know that. You know all of us don't know it all. You understand? And yes, we grab. Look at me as well. I'm writing and I'm asking questions. That is the way, that is the attitude that we need to use. That's the attitude towards learning. That's the attitude. You listen with the listen because you want to understand. You listen because you want to learn, and you listen because you want to clarify what you've learned so that by the time you move away from this, whatever you have or whatever you've learned or whatever you have listened to and you gain from others speaking, when you understand it, trust me, you can add even that one to the knowledge you know, and then you'll be able to understand it and act on it. You understand it, Ambassador? Are you listening to me? Hello?
I'm listening to you, ma'am.
Are you listening to
I'm
me?
with you.
Yes, I know
I'm with
you are also a motivational speaker. I know you are a leader. But when it comes to a platform like this of mastering the transforming mindset or transforming our relationship, we need to be aiming to learn more from others as well as sharing what you know. Now you have shared an important topic or an important point with us. We are all listening and we gain from what you just said. So what about if you just share and you didn't gain anything? What will happen? Let me use this one as an example. I don't have a empty cup here. Look at this. Let's use this one as an example, but visualize it as a cup. That's one of the things that my pastor also illustrated with us when we're doing marriage seminar. Okay, you see this cup now. You are pouring, you are talking, you are giving, you are doing everything. Everything is going there. Everything is going. You are emptying yourself. You are sharing your knowledge. You are giving everything you have. You see and the cup is overflowing, overflowing. Okay. Now you have emptied yourself in that cup. So the cup is gone. So what about when you want to fill in what you have already emptied? How do you do that? It's by you listening to others to learn from others so that it's a gift, give and take. You give what you have in exchange of what you will receive back. So that when you now finish the masterclass and you sit down, you look at what you yourself know already, and then you look at the new ideas that has coming, and then you add it to what you've known. The next time you are going to speak or you are going to motivate or counsel somebody, you've gained more knowledge of what you've already known. because you have listened to others and you have borrowed their own ideas to add to you. Do you understand? Huh? Very much. You are a great teacher. You are a great leader, and you are full of knowledge and wisdom. You understand? But my training for you is to gain more. I am gaining. And use me as an example. I'm learning, I'm gaining, I'm asking questions. If I don't understand what they've just said, I ask questions, and then I gain better understanding. And then it is when you gain better understanding that you can apply it now into your relationship or your life. Are you okay with that?
Yes, very well, man.
Very well. Okay. So what's your question?
My question to Pastor Awodiran
Okay.
is
Okay. My able leader is asking you question now, Pastor Awodiran.
I will you, man.
Okay.
my question, when they are talking about relationship, how to mingle, I like asking this question. As a young man that is full of potential, as a young man that is full of potential, these days, no young lady or no young person wants to settle for less. Everybody wants best. Like myself, I want the best for myself. So, as young people who come, even when they don't want to show you their attitude, what they portray, because they portray so many attitudes that will really reflect what you don't like. But by the time they see you as a potential young man and they want to keep you, no matter what, they can pretend to keep you. How do you discover what you really want from those tutors coming around you? Because it's not just the one tutor. So many tutors have been coming around you. They see you, they like you, they feel you have a potential, they want to be around you. So how do you discover the real person among them?
Good. Doctor, please, I will need you to help me to ask the question because the network is, I can't hear him clearly.
Okay.
I only have something, but I want
Okay.
you to
Okay.
help me with the question.
Okay. All right. Let me see if
Okay.
I can try to reframe his question. As a young man that want to settle and get married, you are hunting for the beautiful wife or the wife to be. And he's asking, how can you really, because there are a lot of women around, you understand? You call them suitor or something. There are a lot of women around exhibiting themselves, those that are good, those that are ugly, those that are bad. How can he really choose the right out of those women? What is the guidance you can give him as a young man? Because he sees himself as an intelligent person, a very articulate, a very industrious, very creative, a great leader, great motivator, great speaker. So he has all these potentials. And that can attract, it's just like you having money. That can attract ladies. And I know that some people will like to come to you because of what you have or who you are. So he's now saying that, okay, these people are surrounding me now. I beg, how can I choose the right person out of all these lineups women?
Okay.
As a
Thank you. The question is
pastor,
very clear.
advise us.
Okay, man. Very good question. Very good question.
Am I right? Is that your question?
Very nice, man. Very
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
Okay, good. It's a very good question because marriage, once it is gotten wrong from the beginning, there is a problem till the end. Once it is gotten wrong from the beginning, there will be a problem till the end. Now, how do we get or know the right one? Mostly, the success of a man attracts a woman. Yes, the success of a man attracts a woman. But how do we get it? In picking the right woman. One, beauty does not form marriage. When a woman is beautiful, it does not form marriage, because the beauty of the face is not what matters, but the beauty of the heart. So the number one thing I would suggest is this: handing everything over to God. Like doctor was saying before the network went, he said something about discernment. He said something about discernment, which is very, very important. Discernment is very, very important. That is praying to God. Like a man prayed, a woman prayed, a man wanted to marry her. So the woman prayed that God reveal this man to me. One day, the woman went out, the lady went out and found this guy praying and the lady happens to be a born again Christian. So she got to the guy's house and met him praying as a Muslim. And the guy has been pretending to be a Christian. There's another one who smokes and drinks. The lady, through prayers, got to know who the guy really is. So discernment is very important when it comes to the area of prayer. When you pray to God, I believe God would decide that. That is why I used to tell people, they said that what God has put together, let no man put asunder. But the truth about it is that it is not all marriage that God put together. The basic truth, not all marriage that God put together. If you choose on your own, it is not God that joined you. It is your pastor that joined you, not God. So discernment, which can be gotten through prayer. And number two is the application of wisdom. Application of wisdom. This comes by in making a test, in testing the person you want to marry. You will test her to know the kind of person she is. A man, when dating a lady, kept money inside his room, asked the lady to go and clean something for him. The lady saw the money, brought the money, and gave it to the guy. Like, so you are so careless with money. See where you put your money. And the man can say, I didn't even know I kept money there. I didn't even know. And since that time, the guy has been doing that several times, but the lady never fell for it. Some ladies, they will automatically, they will fall for such. So testing them can also bring out the one you want. But I want to say this thing. As a Christian, we are not allowed to date more than a lady. Now, when you date a lady, it is from the dating that you will get to know all these things, not having 4 girlfriends, 5 girlfriends. You understand? You know, some ladies are the ones that will demand sex even before marriage, not even men now. I have a very strange story to tell. I was with this family. This lady told the guy that she's a virgin. And for that purpose, the guy did not even go near the girl at all. Only for the guy to know that several men have been sleeping with this girl. So when you test them, you can test them with food, you can go out and test them. A normal lady you want to get married with will plan your future with you. Will plan, that's the wisdom in, will plan your future with you. Not that you will now go out when you order for food, she will eat this one, eat this one, eat this one, drink this one, drink this one, drink this one, without manners at all. So with this one, you will know them. Now, when it comes to like being religious, all these things can be framed. The fact that somebody says I'm a born again doesn't mean the person is born again. The fact that the person goes to church doesn't mean the person is born again. The fact that she told you she doesn't lie doesn't mean she's not a liar. So when you do these two things, praying, that is a discernment, and the wisdom application, which is testing them, I believe you will be able to know the one to spend your life with. Thank you. Thank you, I'm through.
Thank you very much.
I believe I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Very well, sir. You have answered my question very well, sir. I really appreciate it, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless you. You're welcome.
Okay, we are getting there gradually. I think we're gonna round up now because our great Pastor Awodiran, we've really put him on spot today. He's supposed to just speak for 1 hour. Now we are rolling to 2 hours. So I think we need to release him. On behalf of Reverend Professor Akpabio, the internet or the connection was a big challenge to every one of us today, and especially Reverend Akpabio. He cannot even see the link anymore. He click it and it's not showing. It's just showing blank. So he couldn't come back to come and teach us. It's so frustrating. He's been trying since the system locked him out. But guess what? We are an overcomer and we are not giving up and we are unstoppable and we are not going to stop these messages. We are not going to stop learning to improve our marriage, our relationship, our love. So we will continue. And I just spoken to him just now, and we are going to reschedule it again. He's going to come back next week, at least for 2 days, to share with us on marriage and also on love. So be prepared. I believe that we just keep on. We will not give up. The system is making us, but we will not give up. Remember, even Pastor Awodiran, he's supposed to speak on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
And the system was just messing him up throughout that time. Same thing is doing to Reverend Professor Akpabio, but we will not give up. But I think we have used that time as well to enlighten ourselves. We have shared, we have asked questions, we have discussed, and we will continue to do that. But for this moment, I would like to round it up, and so that we can all go and rest with our computer, our laptop, our phone, because it has really affected every one of us on this platform today. I mean, even my PA can only just eventually join in now. And I think it's because of the internet and the connection. I mean, like Ambassador Christian has been having the problem. Everybody, even Ambassador Joseph as well today. Even you can recollect that even during the time that Pastor Awodiran was sharing with us, it's just like a battle. It was a battle. But the good part of it is that we are not going to. And even Ambassador Emmanuel as well has been joining, everything just keep on knocking us out. But they can only try. They cannot hold us back. They can only try. Even the system itself, the internet, everywhere. But one thing I know, that we will continue to do what we're doing, sharing the truth, and only the truth will set us free. And we will continue to transform our relationship. So for every one of us that have joined today, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for your endurance. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your data. Thank you so much for your time, because it's so, sometimes it can be frustrating, but we are still smiling despite the issue of connectivity. So we're going to round up now, and I want to say thank you so much for Professor Dr. Mercy Oben, thank you, ma'am, for joining us today. I wish you can just say hello to us today. I know you can't open your camera, but we appreciate your presence, ma'am. Thank you so much. We want to appreciate Emmanuel Charles. Thank you so much. Christian Uzeri, thank you so much. We want to appreciate Madam Ikram Muhammad. Thank you so much for joining us today. We want to also appreciate Honorable Titus. Thank you for joining us today. So on this note, I also want to appreciate Ambassador Joseph for being the king of this platform today. Then we want to appreciate Pastor Awodiran. I know this is your first time. It was much better than 2 days ago, and we are glad that we're able to learn from you all these points and facts and the truth and the scripture. Thank you so much, sir. Even the experience you have using, even the stories, the scenario, I just appreciate everything. We will not give up. But please keep joining us, because when the internet give up on is disturbing, we can also call you back. So please, anytime you are free, join us. We still have 2 weeks, so join us. And when there is enough time, like we always do, we give everybody opportunity to be able to share. Okay, on this note, we have only 1 minute. Is there any other person that just want to quickly say something before we end today's masterclass? Anybody else that want to say something quickly? Quickly, only for 1 minute. Okay. Okay, who else? Whoever else? Anybody else? No? Okay. I can't see any hands up. So I believe we've all ready to end this. You can open your camera if you can, because this is our last one. Probably we want to move on. Okay, on this note, I will ask the last question. Can I end this program, this masterclass, transforming relationship for this evening? Can I end it now?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Only
Yes,
two. Well, we have one, two. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only one person is answering. Let me ask again, because I'm about to end this meeting. Can I end this masterclass of today now?
yes, you can, ma'am.
Yes, you can. Okay, right. Okay, thank you so much. Please remember, there is no masterclass tomorrow and Sunday. We are coming back 10 o'clock UK time, Nigeria time, 11 o'clock on Monday, the 12th of February. So for 2 days, have a good rest. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for your time for this week. Let's come back together on Monday, the 12th of February, and continue with our learning on mindset for transforming relationship masterclass. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Bye-bye.